This is Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Coming up. Ashanti Regional Women's Organizer of the NDC picks up nomination forms for former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufour to contest as flag bearer of the party.
We are, what, Eagle? Aren't we Eagle? The place for Eagle is not the land, it's where? The sky. The Eagle will soar again. Ghana will soar again.
Users of Law Court Complex in Accra, including physically challenged, forced to climb layers of staircase to access justice due to the malfunctioning of all elevators available to the public.
I'm compelled to cope with the situation. I don't like it, but there's very little I can do. And we don't expect that the elevator is not one, about 4. They're all broken down and are not repaired up to now.
Also, chiefs and elders of the Alwyn traditional area of the Western North region call on government to take immediate action on the assassination attempts on the Alwyn paramount chief.
When our complaint gets to the police and they don't give it the maximum attention, it makes us to lose the trust and confidence we have in the police, and that shouldn't be the case. We have no litigation chieftaincy problem with the police.
And later, players in the textiles industry lament the negative impact of the removal of the subsidy on residual fuel oil on their operations.
In a couple of weeks, we lost that 55% of subsidy. And representing 60% of our COGS, it means that if you really want to replicate more than 100%.
And the Ashanti Regional Women's Organizer of the NDC, Gloria Huze, has picked up nomination forms for former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Dufour. The National Democratic Congress, NDC, has officially opened its doors for including former President Mahama, have picked up their forms to contest as the flag bearer for the NDC. Citi News' Akosia Ochri has more in the following report.
On Thursday morning, supporters of the former Finance Minister, Dr. Kwabena Dufour, thronged the premises of the headquarters of the National Democratic Congress to pick up a nomination form on his behalf. So far, 4 individuals, including the former President, John Mahama, former Kumasi Mayor, Kojo Bonsu, and one businessman, Ernest Kweku Kobia, have picked up forms for the contest slated for May 13, 2023. Leading Dr. Dufour's delegation to the NDC head office on Thursday morning were scores of supporters and the Ashanti Regional Women's Organizer who picked the form. The chairman of the election committee of the NDC, Kakrai Samoa, while receiving a check as payment for the nomination form, asked the former finance minister to bring his expertise in the economic and financial field to recover the economy he voted into power.
I, together with all Ghanaians, we have been overpowered by the stench of corruption that has engulfed this nation under Buhari. Is that also? Fills out the forms correctly, fully, faithfully, and loyally, and bring it back to us a month today. And when you bring it, you shall have a vetting committee that will vet it. If it passes the test, you take part, it's being 30. If God is keep reading and he wins, he will represent all of us. Amen. We did a champion. Amen. So tell your man that we did a champion. God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
spokesperson for Dr. Dufour, Antonio Ademasinho, also addressed the press.
Like his leadership as finance minister, Ghana recorded its best economic performance ever. Indeed, one that the NDC as a party is proud of. Secondly, his enterprise of business is one that is evident for all of us to see. This election is not going to be business as usual. And indeed, fully participate in our democratic process as a party and as a country. Lastly, under Dr. Kwabena Dufour, we shall experience true leadership, one we can trust, and I can promise you, Ghana and NDC definitely will Papa.
The nomination form was then handed over to Dr. Dufour at his office in Osu in Accra.
We are what? Eagle? Aren't we eagle? The place for eagle is not the land, it's where? The sky. The eagle will soar again. Ghana will soar again. Under the LDC, yes, the economy will grow. We produce a very prosperous economy. We will be able to bring all this back. Our government, from 2025, will bring the economy back within 2 years. The first year will be the restoration. The second year will be a complete recovery.
Let's go to Parliament now, and the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, who is a proponent of the anti-LGBTQ bill, Samuel Nati George, says the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee of the House is expected to lay its report before the House by the end of into consideration. Addressing the media after a meeting by the committee with the Attorney General on Wednesday, Sam George said a consensus has been reached on the bill, hence the need for
Plus bill seeks to criminalize the activities of persons who hold out as lesbians, gay, transgender, transsexual or queer. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice Godfred Dame, in an opinion to the chairman of the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs of Parliament, said the bill will face some challenges when implemented, adding that some provisions will violate some fundamental human rights and freedoms, particularly the right to privacy. But speaking to journalists in Parliament on Thursday, one of the sponsors of the bill, Samuel Nati George, says the Attorney General has approved the bill in its current form.
But he felt that in giving today's nuances, it was important that we had a new legislation that deepened it and made it clear that marriage can only be between a man and a woman as husband and wife, not between two men as husband and wife. And so again, he thought that our bill was a welcome news. Again, on the issue of void marriages, he said if the Marriage Act of Ghana does not recognize marriage between persons of the same sex, and our bill has a clause that deals with void marriages that specifies that even if you go and contract a homosexual marriage outside of Ghana, would have no recognition of that union.
Answering questions on the floor of Parliament, the Transport Minister, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, says an amount of 128,000 Ghana cedis was spent on the procurement of decorations of Christmas trees at the airport by management of the Ghana Airport Company Limited in 2021.
Christmas decoration at Kotoka International Airport for 2021 was rented from a company. And the total cost of the decoration was company DPP in terms of sponsorship.
During proceedings in the chamber, the House debated on a report by the Special Budget Committee on the Draft Public Elections Regulations 2022 and other related matters.
For the Electoral Commission to designate only district officers is problematic for us constitutionally, is problematic for us administratively, is problematic for us for voters to identify. Mr. Speaker, when the opportunity was given to voters to go and register at polling station, it serves two purposes. One, they know where to go and verify their names. And two, they know where to appear on election day to be able to cast their vote. Now, limiting it only to a district office will deny Ghanaians this opportunity, which can also amount to an attempt to deny them a constitutionally guaranteed right under Article 42.
Reading the report and then coming to the conclusion of the committee, the first thing is that no new register will be compiled. Secondly, we also have to acknowledge that no CI has been laid, because we hear the public, we hear even some of our members telling the whole world that a CI has been laid, and that CI will seek to stop people from getting registered. No CI has been laid.
February 28, 2022, over the past 2023, I beg your pardon, over the past months, the northern region and other parts of the country have been experiencing vaccine shortage with no solution in place. The Ghana Health Service has, on the other hand, attributed the shortage to the depreciation of the Citi, thus making it difficult to procure them. The service has assured that the country will receive the vaccines in 2 weeks. The concerning situation has pushed the interest of the chairman of Parliament's Health Committee, who sees a need to call the Minister of Health and other agency heads to an emergency meeting. Meanwhile, the Pediatric Society of Ghana has also charged the government to take all the necessary steps to stem the negative trend of the vaccine shortage to avert further disease outbreaks among children in Ghana. To some other stories, and users of the Law Courts complex in Accra, including the physically challenged, are forced to climb layers of staircase to access justice due to the malfunction of all 4 elevators available to the public. The complex, which was inaugurated in 2015, has 43 courtrooms in 5 floors. 4 months, I beg your pardon, the elevators and some air conditioners in the building have been out of order. Citi News' Charles Osukumi has been studying the facility and has more to share with us. Charles, please take it up.
This building behind me is the Law Courts complex here in Accra. It was inaugurated just about 8 years ago in 2015, so it's a fairly new building. This ultramodern building has 43 courtrooms and has 5 floors. It is intended to serve all manner of people, including physically challenged people and the aged. But it is to use this huge building with 5 floors without its elevators.
It's quite a long time, more than 6 months I can say. Yeah, I'm sure about for the past 6 months, the elevators have not worked.
Yeah. I can see that you're holding a walking aid. How the fact that the elevator hasn't been working, how is that affecting your work?
I'm compelled to cope with the situation. I don't like it, but there's very little I can do. This is a new building. This structure is a giant structure that was constructed not long ago. And we don't expect that the elevator is not one, about 4. They're all broken down and are not repaired up to now. We don't really understand.
Well, it's not done. It's not done because from the 3rd to the 5th, you are disabled. On the 2nd, look at the way you have to struggle. I don't think the handlers of the court should know that they don't work for themselves, but They work for the total population who are able and some are disabled. So, I mean, they should be up and doing. This is not acceptable at all.
I'm also told that some air conditioners in the building.
In fact, initially, when I started coming here, the air conditioners were working, but in recent times, in fact, they normally open the windows. I don't know why that's good. Because look at climbing up to the fifth step and being exhausted and going to sit in the court with no air conditioning. In fact, it's a tall order. It's a tall order. But I've not asked why the air conditioners are not on, because I expect the handlers should do the needful, because the air conditioners are there, it should be for the public. Why are they not working?
This pregnant paralegal also shares her experiences with the malfunctioning elevators in the law court complex with us.
I'm a paralegal. I come to the court to do filing from my office, and then the lift is not working, so we'll have to use the staircase, which is very stressful and all that. But then we are hoping to get fixed early so that I will not go through that stress anymore. So that's the...
I can see it's even more stressful for you. I mean, you're heavily pregnant. I can see that.
At a particular floor, wait a little before I continue to. And I mostly go to the fifth floor. That is my challenge.
We've been making some effort to get the judicial service, who are managers of the law court complex, to speak to the issue, but they have declined to speak to us on record. What is apparent, though, is that the elevators in that building need urgent fixing to enhance justice delivery and access to justice. My name is Charles Osukumi. I've been reporting for Citi News.
Let's go to traditional issues. And chiefs and elders of the Awin traditional area of the Western North region are calling on government to take immediate action on the assassination attempts and threats of insecurity against the Awin paramount chief, Beyeman Tanokwao Benbuin III. They noted that even though the countless and constant plots and schemes, which include the use of offensive weapons against the paramount chief, have been reported to the police, no requisite action have been taken on the criminal conduct. The following report has more.
The paramount chief for Awin traditional area, Beyeman Tanokwao Benbuin III, was installed as king on 23rd March 2019, but has still not been gazetted due to some chieftaincy disputes surrounding his installment. According to reports, there were a series of clashes which led to the killing of 4 persons on 6 November 2022. The Tufuhine of Awin traditional area, Nana Peng II, in his address to the media, questioned the inaction of the police and demanded a thorough investigation into the matter.
Not less than 10 assassination attempts have taken place. Don't hear anything, especially the perpetrators. You know, the case is between two factions, those against our Omahine and those for Omahine are arrested, and the case goes on, and then it's still pending. But none of those perpetrators have been arrested and brought to book.
Nana Peng II further indicated that the people of Awin
give it the maximum attention. It makes us to lose the trust and confidence we have in the police, and that shouldn't be the case. We have no litigation chieftaincy problem with the police, but their handling and management of crime relating to chieftaincy is what is causing the conflict, the perceived conflict between us and the police. The police need to be sure that there is peace and order in an area. They need to make sure that there is visible policing. They need to know that the Omahine in their palace needs security, protection.
In an interview with some residents of Enchi, they stated how unsafe they are in carrying out their day-to-day activities.
Sometimes we even feel that without your consent, maybe somebody can do something bad to you. So, like shooting you or some fault, we cannot, and we don't. Sometimes we don't feel happy at all. We don't feel happy because where we are working also is close to the chief house.
Yana tom ya meton pano ha na yenso ye fie eben ahimfie no ebasa etuatu no koso aboba ni na agufie o te ebasa na amaya komatu.
Peace reign in the Awin traditional area. Reporting for Citi News, Stanley Bwedi, Inche.
Has resolved 99% of school placement issues brought to its attention at the NAT Resolution Center in Accra. The Secretariat, following the release of the schools for the SHS1 students, set up resolution centers across the country to address outstanding challenges. Some students have since brought to the attention of the Secretariat issues of no placement, change of schools, residential status, and gender issues. Our man on the beat is Kweku Ediamansa, and he's joining us with details now. Kweku, share more with us, please.
Right, so the resolution centers are still in place. This is because the Free Senior High School Secretariat believes that there are challenges with the placements that were done. And so these resolution centers across the country are still addressing some of these concerns. In the Greater Accra region, where the National Resolution Center is situated, that is at the NAT Hall, a lot of people are still trooping to the place. Although the numbers look quite lowered as compared to what was experienced a week ago, the Secretariat says that it is still working assiduously to address all these concerns, particularly our school reopens hopefully next week. Some of these concerns, you will know, include the no school or the no placement. Some of them also the change of school and also the re-entry, and some others with the gender issues and enrollment. They have all made their way to the NAT Center and hopefully to have them resolved. But some of the parents and their wards have also been interacting with Citi News about their concerns.
I have given him a day. Right now I want to change into boarding. Where I'm living, no, I'm living that side. So the day there I can't. Right now I'm living Accra to Volta region. So in fact, they give him Kateko, Kaneshin, Kaneshin Day. So up and down like this, who is going to stay with right now if I live Accra?
How worried are you?
Like, all my friends are having school, and only me, I'm like I'm the odd one inside. So I'm feeling bad. That's
what do your friends say, those who have gone for their prospects? When they come back?
The road is far, and some also laugh at me. I've been checking since Monday. I've been checking, but nothing has been coming. Yeah. St. Stephen's, St. Dominic, or Kibi Senior High School.
But what has been the progress so far?
So far, I think everything has been smooth and successful. As you can see, the numbers has reduced drastically. It shows that we are really working. So we've resolved about 99% of the issues that was brought to the center here. We are still placing calls. So if we've not gotten to your time, meaning you have to wait or you have to check. If you check and your issue is not resolved, you need to exercise patience with us, because we are working for the whole country and everybody is bringing issues. So definitely it will get to their turn, and then we are calling them, so they should stay calm, and then it will get to them. going forward next year, we will do a lot of sensitization on this whole placement activity, because some of the issue maybe has not really go down deep with them, so they don't really understand how the system is being operated. So going forward this year, we will do a lot of sensitization on this whole placement activity, and then I will urge parents that when during school selection, they need to get involved.
So the Ghana National Association of Teachers, that is NAT, which is a major stakeholder in Ghana's education system, is calling for a review in the grading system of the various senior high schools in the country. The association believes that it is a major contributory factor to the current challenges that is being faced by the school placement system, and it must be reviewed. The General Secretary for the association, Thomas Musa, has been speaking on this.
One of the difficulties I have found, it is the classification of the schools. You see, to classify one school as A, one school as B, and another school as C, you see, it suggests that the schools are no good. You see, it creates the impression like the C schools are no good. And for me, I think we must do away from this grade A, grade B, grade C, grade D. Because you see, how many children are willing to go to grade D schools? How many children? When you ask, which school are you? Grade D, yeah. The grade alone is enough to cause the child to start to break down in tears.
Reporting for Citi News from the NAT Resolution Center in Accra, my name is Kweku Ediamansa.
And here in our studios in number 5, Ola Hansen Newsroom on Citi TV. Still ahead. More persons show up at the late Christian Achu's home to make donations, including groupings such as the National Democratic Congress's Youth Wing. We have that story and more coming up. Please be with us.
Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA. It is important for husbands to support their wives who test positive for HIV when they are pregnant. The assistance I got from my husband encouraged me to follow all the guidelines given by the nurses and doctors. I gave birth to an HIV negative child. I'm therefore appealing to all men to test for HIV and encourage their wives to do same. All pregnant women should test for HIV and follow instructions given by their healthcare providers. This will help them to have HIV-free babies. Men and women, let's work together to have an HIV-free generation.
Our children must be free to shine.
coupled with the risk. Yes, negative impact of the removal of the subsidy of residual fuel oil, RFO, on their operations. Government, effective November 1, 2022, withdrew the subsidy on RFO to ease the financial burden on the price stabilization and recovery accounts. The National Petroleum Authority justified the move, arguing that it was to ensure availability and supply of the product. Speaking in an interview with Citi News Business Desk, the Managing Director of the Textiles Ghana Limited stated that this is significantly increasing the cost of production of her outfit.
So we used to benefit of one subsidy mainly, which is the RFO, is a residual fuel that textile company mainly use, and it represents 60% of our COGS. And overnight, in a couple of weeks, we lost that 55% of subsidy. And representing 60% of our COGS, it means that if you really want to replicate that on the consumers or on the shopper, you have to increase pricing done more than 100%, which we couldn't do because we knew that we could have just closed down because they are facing challenges and they no longer have the revenue to cover for that subsidy. And also because the RFO but I mean, we all know it's been very difficult for the Ghana government, and they're trying to support as best as they can, but they can't.
Now, the National Youth Wing of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has donated 2,000 cedis to support the family of the late Christian Achu. A delegation led by the national youth organizer of the party, George Aparado, paid their respect to the family of the ex-Chelsea and Newcastle winger on Thursday. Citi Sports' Evans Ofocho Manso has a wrap of the day's activities from the family house of the late Christian Achu at Ogbojo in Accra. Pichichi, take it up.
Thank you. It's the fourth day since the Book of Condolence was opened at the family house of Christian Achu at Odojo. The day started with the arrival of Black Stars fullback Samuel Inkum. He came to commiserate with the family of his late national teammate and also signed the Book of Condolence. According to Inkum, he pledged to support the family towards the funeral. Speaking to Citi News, he indicated that he still cannot believe that his former teammate is gone.
To be honest, my brother, it's not easy at all. You know, I still don't even think that Achu is gone. But at the end of the day, we cannot do nothing. You understand what I mean? It's still, you know, everybody is in pain, and yes, I'm here this morning to come and say hello to the family because of what happened. Yeah. I can't believe it.
What's your fondest memory of Christian Achu on the pitch?
I think, to be honest, me and you know what Achu can do in terms of football. If I want to talk about Achu today, I would never. As a person, he's a human, to be honest. And the thing that I would love so much is that 2015, the Cup of Nations, you know, he was the best player of the tournament. It's amazing.
Christian Achu was a former student of the TI Ahmadiyya Senior High School in Kumasi. Some of his former classmates were also here to commiserate with the family. Officials from Turkish Airlines followed suit to commiserate with the family of Christian Achu. Achu's final club was Hatayspor in the Turkish Super League before the earthquake early this month. A delegation from the National Democratic Congress was next. The delegation was led by the national youth organizer, lawyer George Opariado. They donated 2,000 Ghana cedi to the family and promised to further support the family. Lawyer George Ado further indicated that the top hierarchy of the NDC will be back to support the family further. Speaking to Citi News, lawyer George Opariado eulogized Christian Achu.
Anybody who does charity inspires many other people, and the NDC is one political organization that always believes in giving back to society. So anybody who is cast in that stone is one that the NDC will always want to associate with. And so we are here not because of just his charity, let me emphasize that, but we are here because of the person Achu is. Achu is a national asset. Achu has brought memories to our homes. In 2015, we all celebrated him when he was voted the best player of the AFCON. And apart from that, beyond football, he's touched a lot of humanity. And so you cannot ignore his works. And as a party, we celebrate Ghanaians who distinguish themselves. And Achu is one such Ghanaian. And so if the NDC is here this morning, we are here to celebrate his life and then also mourn and condole with his family.
Achu's humanitarian works transcends across Ghana all the way to Nigeria. The Nigeria commiserate with the family of the late footballer. Talik Ademola, who is the Secretary General of the Nigeria Football Supporters Club, spoke to Citi News after their visit.
Oh, actually, we are here to sympathize with them, and you know, as traditional demand, we're supposed to be here to. We cannot stay back in a situation like this. That's why we decided to come, and we believe we are coming back for the other stages of the funeral. We are going to participate fully, and whatever support we're supposed to also give, I believe we will do our best.
International evangelist Association will meet on Friday to deliberate further on arrangements for his one-week observation scheduled for Saturday, the 4th of March, and also his final burial rites. Reporting for Citi News, I am Evans Ofochu Manson.
Now, the founder of defunct UT Bank, Captain retired Prince Kofi Amor, says in order to transform Africa from a lower-income economy to a high-income one, African leaders need a complete rewriting or rewiring of their mindsets. The UT Bank, which he founded, was a commercial bank in Ghana until 2017 when its license was revoked by the bank. And another with Capital Bank. Book titled The UT Story, Building a Winning Team. That's Volume 2. Mr. Kofi Amor stressed the need for African leaders to recondition their mind as it is crucial to changing the economic fortunes of the continent.
What causes change is leadership. And when we talk leadership, it's not the group at the top. I'm talking about the man at the very top. And we've seen leadership in Africa failing, even in our homes. Parents are no more responsible. You hear parents paying bribes to get their kids into schools. You hear parents buying exam questions for their kids. It's unimaginable. Then you come into institutions. Then you go into politics, forget it. It's this kind of leadership which will really make sure that we stay there and get worse. And we have to start. And then if you heard about the issue about abundance, before you lead, you should understand the people that you're leading, where they're coming from. And really, Africa, it's not that we are bad people, but nature made us who we are. If you have kids and you think you love one of them and you dote on that child, 100% that child will not turn out well. And we were put in the best part of the world, and we've lived in abundance for the longest. Therefore, we have created. We have to fashion out how we can revolutionize the mindset of the African leader. Unless we change it around and say, forget about the old times, forget about the cultures and traditions, this is the way to go.
The UT story, building a winning team.
You're watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still ahead. National Labour Commission advocates for it to be allowed to charge filing fees on labour issues. This is because of the low financing by government. We have that story and more coming up. Please stay with us.
Yet yasie ensu to nanso afom da so ye din ne senti ya hyehyɛ bibi sunko kra dia mamo ya to ne din sɛ high sense super promo ye niema ne buo no esa hwe ne nyina bio impo ye mfa so mpo eye free so sɛ de be ye mfa so dia promo yi ewe showrooms nyina ewo Ghana for nyina high sense one amount 5 years manufacturer defective warranty ye niema border from change dia kanina change dia kanina high sense change dia kanina na ye papa change dia kanina hayo every 28 February akofim 8 March a high sense super promo. High sense everyday prices for everyday people.
You're welcome back. Now, the National Labour Commission is advocating that it is allowed to charge filing fees for labour issues it hears. According to the Commission, the woefully inadequate government subvention it depends on is affecting the efficient running of the affairs, hence the request. The NLC made this known when it paid a courtesy call on the Chief Justice. There's more in this report.
Averagely, the National Labour Commission receives about 20 cases in a day and 450 in a month. However, with such huge workload, the Commission is inadequately financed. By law, the Commission is supposed to deal with any labour issue brought before it in 3 days. However, it's unable to file cases at the courts for settlement due to lack of funds. Speaking call by members of the Commission to the Chief Justice, Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Ofosu Asamoah said the situation is dire, hence the call to charge filing fees.
The Labour Commission is GOG funded. And for example, yesterday our water was cut. No light on Friday. No light on Monday. On Tuesday, that we were able to buy credit, we are on prepaid. And as soon as we bought it on Tuesday morning, our water was cut. We owe about 63,000 cedis. And as I talk to you now, there's no other. So there is the need for us, if we were generating some funds internally, then we could be paying for some of these things because we are on prepaid. We buy the credit, the lights go off. Because we are GOG, we now have to apply to the Ministry of Finance. It goes through budget, goes through controller, comes to a schedule officer at the Ministry of Employment. Before it's audited, and the money goes to Bank of Ghana. That is why the power went off, and for 3 days we were in darkness. And as soon as there's no light, we can't work. Air conditions are off. You can't use a photocopier. You can't use a computer. In hearing, we do recording. You can't do anything. And the work of the commission comes to a standstill. So there is the need to generate some money internally, so that at every point in time we have some liquid that is cash. The lights go off prepaid, and immediately you are able to buy 1,000 or this thing. We spend 20,000 every 3 weeks on electricity. You see, though, that is why we are saying that, yes, it is true that people who come to the commission, there are some who are very poor and vulnerable. But we do cases, everybody comes there, like the chairman said, multinationals come there, these mining companies, we have cases from commercial, but we do cases where people get millions of Ghanaian cedis and dollars. And if such people are paying a paltry sum for filing like 100 cedis or 200 cedis, I don't think that it is out of place.
The commission also raised concerns about instances where judges approach to ascertain the propriety of processes used in determining cases, ask for a retrial even when the commission is right in law.
See, we raise an issue of where we bring cases for enforcement. Then, having satisfied themselves with the procedures, the trial judge may want to the judge has satisfied himself that the right procedures were adopted in coming out with the decision, then there will be no need, so that he just enforces our decision. I've had an opportunity where an occasion where other appeal court judges called me to find out whether the issue that they raised, whether they should file the appeal at the labor court or the appeals. Normally, the procedure is that if you want to appeal, you file it at where Supreme Court.
Reporting for Citi News, my name is Ansheli Zibu.
Now, the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, is confident his office and the regional court Volta region has won twice, the 2020 edition and the 2020 on the league table. There's more in this report filed by Rachel Engman and read by Citi News' Nashika Caesar.
16 regional ministers and their regional coordinating directors on Thursday signed the 2023 performance contract with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development in Accra. The annual performance contract serves as a benchmark for assessing the outputs of local government officials and also creates the needed commitment to support local and national development initiatives. The Volta Regional Coordinating Council is the defending champions, having emerged first in 2020 and 2021. Even though the results for 2022 are yet to be released, the Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Lecha, is confident his team will retain their position as overall winners. He, however, cited financial constraints and lack of resources as some of the challenges facing local governance in Ghana.
We were declared the winners for 2020 and then 2021. What do we want to do in the year 2023? What are our core functions? So we have our key performance areas that was presented to us: financial management, human resource management, and also services. Our key performance indicators are different from those of the MDAs. We are expecting to win the third time, that's 2022. It's a teamwork, and I have a very committed team at the Regional Coordinating Council who work without any monetary or any incentives. They are happy to work, especially when the leader is interested in what they're doing and recognizing that they are contributing a lot to the administration. They are happy, and I have a very all the things we've won is a result of the powerful team, their commitment and hard work. The challenges are always there in terms of resources, in terms of money. Financial material resources are always there, but you have to manage it.
The Minister of State designates for the Ministry of Local Government, Osei Bonsu Amwa, is urging regional ministers and their coordinating directors to perform their duties efficiently. He warned that coordinating directors who fail to perform their duties may not be promoted.
Well, the Office of Head of Local Government Service is to monitor and evaluate how they perform. Very well, and if we increased the marks, which made them become on top or become first on the league table. But we expect that all the regions will also keep up the pace. If you don't deliver, then your promotion becomes a problem. You don't deliver, evaluation is concerned.
The Western Regional Minister Kwabena Dufour commended
that will try to take care of the background issues while the priest. Some things that the chief director can do, and there are some things that the minister can do. But with a combination of the two, we expect that we should be able to deliver good citizen services and make sure that our people are also happy. From backstopping of the assemblies, doing some specific meetings to make sure that we are accountable to the people are key in this exercise. So for this exercise, we are very happy. Over the years, Volta has been doing well, and we are telling everybody that we should all be doing well, so that when we all do well, we should be able to support our citizens at the grassroots for them to enjoy what is Ghana. And therefore, this contract is key, because any life that is not measured, you know, it's not worth.
CitiNewsroom.com has more stories. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content on Citi TV.